Hey, what's up YouTube? So today I'm doing Try Not to Laugh ChatGPT edition. So if you think about it, ChatGPT has been trained on just about every single scientist, every single genius, every single comedian. Pretty much just about everyone who's alive today, right? It's been trained on all these different styles of humor, styles of comedy, jokes, what works, what doesn't. Theoretically, ChatGPT should be like the funniest thing that exists today, like the funny bot from South Park. You know, I'd always think, right, if God had to come down and make me laugh with just one word, could he do it? And the answer is yeah, he obviously could do it because he's God and he'd find a way. I'm not trying to compare ChatGPT to God, but theoretically I'm like, shouldn't ChatGPT, given all the comedy he's researched, or in my opinion, stolen, shouldn't he be able to at least like come close to doing that, right? Like, I mean, if there's anybody who can make me laugh in 2 words, it's gotta be ChatGPT, right? So today, I said, well, I have access to ChatGPT. I can go on there and ask these questions. And I have to be completely honest, despite having stolen, in my opinion, all of these things, I still have this assumption off the bat that I kind of don't think ChatGPT can do it, which is really interesting because you kind of don't have an excuse, you know, knowing everything you know, you have to make me laugh, and I will try not to laugh. You know, I'm not going to give it any sympathy snorts, none of that, right? Same goal here. Just because it's a robot, I'm not gonna be nice. Also, guys, I'm doing a voice reveal at 50 subscribers, so please remember to subscribe. Let's free my voice. It's gonna be epic. Anyway, enough yapping. Let's get on to ChatGPT and let's find out. All right, here we are in the ChatGPT interface, the UI, whatever you want to call it, and I'm gonna start once again personable. Like I said before, we don't see eye to eye. Good morning, ChatGPT. Guys, it's almost the end of morning, so we gotta be quick and get this message across because I don't want to be the guy who says good morning when it's actually the afternoon, robot or not. You know what? I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna ask, how are you doing? I want him to feel comfortable. When you're comfortable, you can tell your best jokes. Doing great, thanks for asking. How about you? How's your day shaping up so far? Okay, dude, I didn't ask you to ask me questions. I'm the one asking the questions. ChatGPT, I want you to tell me. Okay, I'm gonna start a little bit brutal. Should I? Yes, we're gonna start brutal. I want ChatGPT to tell me, in its opinion, and you know what? I understand this can be a little bit nerve-wracking, right? To come up with your funniest joke ever on the line. I'm gonna basically ask ChatGPT what is the funniest possible joke that you could ever come up with. Alright, ChatGPT, given you've been trained on just about every drop of humor that has ever existed, from Ötzi the Iceman's funniest Neanderthal noises to some of the greatest comedians alive today, like Rebel Wilson, what is the absolute funniest joke you could possibly tell me right now? Okay, boom, I just wanted to understand, like, you can literally go from when this Earth was created, fuck it, you can go past when this Earth was created to this moment in history right now. Haha, I love the challenge. Okay, let's go for a classic twist with a little bit of the absurdity you're hinting at. I'm not hinting at no absurdity. I'm just asking for the funniest joke you could come up with. Alright, guys, and today, on August 11th at 12:01 p.m., I present to you the absolute funniest joke in the history of mankind. Ready? Guys, get 911 ready on speed dial. You may need to go to the hospital. Ready? Why don't skeletons fight each other? They don't have the guts. Why don't skeletons fight each other? They don't have the guts. Why don't skeletons fight each other? They don't have the guts. Why don't skeletons fight each other? They don't have the guts. Why don't skeletons fight each other? They don't have the guts. They don't have the guts. They don't. No way. I actually feel bad for it. I actually feel bad for ChatGPT for once in my life. If there's like, you know, like, oh my god, guys, if you ask a comedian to do this, even the best comedian in the world, like Rebel Wilson, would fail on the spot. They would fail on the spot. You can't put that kind of pressure on a human. But that's because a human has been alive for like, what, 30, 40, 50 years and only knows what they know. But this is a fucking robot who doesn't get nervous, who doesn't get embarrassed, who knows everything in the whole world. And you seriously hit me with this? Oh man. Wow. You know what? Let's move on from this. I think, wow, I don't even know how to continue actually. This is really embarrassing. You know what? Let's investigate actually. Let's do some research. I'm gonna ask for its sources. Okay, so basically I said, okay, so I'm curious, what kind of resources were the inspiration for this joke? Given you had like 10,000 years of material to pick from, maybe more, I'm just being nice, honestly. Who were the different greats? What were the different articles, literature, etc. that you pulled together to come up with the greatest joke of all time, which is what I was asking for, right? I'm asking basically who are the inspirations? Like, I mean, you had Shakespeare, you had fucking Galileo Galilei, you had Adam and Eve, you had the Bible, you had Da Vinci, you had fucking Rebel Wilson, you had everybody on Earth. Got like Huckleberry Finn. You could have. Okay, I just want to know what were all the sources. What's the spiritual ancestry of that joke? The mighty web of comedic influences that shaped it beyond just skeletons and puns. I respect that. Let's pull apart the layers. I like that. He's not shy, or it is not shy to take some ownership and dive into the groundwork for the joke. The dad joke tradition. This joke falls squarely in the realm of dad humor. Simple, pun-laden, and surprisingly impactful. The root of dad jokes goes back to a long tradition of wordplay and groan-worthy punchlines. Think of greats like Bob Hope and Milton Berle, who built their careers on zingers that would make you chuckle and groan. Not familiar, to be honest. Their wit was based on clean... Okay, so basically, there was a dad joke era, I guess, and maybe Bob Hope and Milton Berle were like the ultimate dads. Got it? Okay, so fine, referencing the dad joke era, but I mean, what's the statistics that this was like one of the funniest eras of humanity? Maybe it was like revolutionary, I'm guessing, because like before that it was all like super proper. Papa, I have a joke, Papa, like that, and then like this kind of broke that they were just like down to earth with it, and that was just so funny. I don't know, when were the dad jokes invented? Like the 1800s? Anyway, let's continue. Puns and wordplay. You know what? I'm gonna read the whole thing and summarize it. Okay, so apparently the greats like Aristophanes and like Shakespeare, I was actually saying, used puns in their plays and stuff, okay? So the absurdity of the joke. Okay, so he thinks that the absurdity of the joke is funny, right? Like the concept of a skeleton trying to fight without any guts. And he's referencing parody movies like Monty Python. So literature and comedy theory. The no guts punchline taps into comedy of incongruity theory, which suggests that humor arises when something is out of place or doesn't make sense. Okay, randomness, another era of humor. I feel like that was 2013 humor, where it was like, I like trains, and then getting hit by a train, like this whole just idea of like being random and spontaneous. I don't miss that era, let's just say that. You could trace this back to works like Immanuel Kant's theory of humor. I believe that humor comes from the disruption of our expectations. Okay, so he was, okay. Modern comedians in pop culture, modern times, absurd human offer. People like Rebel Wilson, greats, you mean, as you mentioned, lean into the absurdity of delivering jokes with a wink and nod to the silliness of it all. Additionally, comedians like Jim Gaffigan or Hannah Gadsby play with absurd premises. Okay, so basically ChatGPT's inspiration was playing into the unexpected and being punny. Okay, summary. When I reached for the perfect joke, it was a combination of wordplay, absurdism, and a bit of the dad joke warmth that's been refined over generations. The skeleton joke might seem kind of like a cultural remix of everything that worked. Okay, so basically there was a lot of history, apparently. I kind of feel like he's pulling all this out of his ass, but maybe not. But I guess at the end of the day, right, and this is the thing where I think a bot can surpass a human. Okay, you can quote all of history, but can you make me laugh with the funniest joke of all time, right? Because it's kind of like, I feel like this is what a human would do if they had all of history to make a joke with, right? It would be so studied to the point where it would just be something not funny. I feel like a bot should have the complexity of not only being able to have studied all of this, but actually crack the joke that is supposed to make us laugh our way to the hospitals like I expected. Oh man, I'm taking more time than I thought with this video, so maybe I'll do a part 2. I'm just going to question this a little bit more before we try to move on to another joke. Okay, but at the end of the day, shouldn't have made me laugh for the funniest joke of all time. Touche, you've got me there. I guess the ultimate test of funny is whether it actually makes you laugh, not just whether it has a rich lineage of comedic influences. Exactly my point that I was just saying. Maybe that was one more like a warm-up than the main event. Exactly like I was saying before. He's nervous. Kind of like a quick jab before the knockout punch. So I'll give you something a little bit more out of left field. Okay, so I'm not going to assume this is the greatest joke of all time, but because I didn't ask for it. Why don't oysters donate to You tongue twister. Why don't oysters donate to charity? Why don't oysters donate to charity? Why don't oysters donate to charity? Because they're shellfish. Dude, I'm not looking for these kind of... God, alright, I'm not gonna lie. That one's borderline so bad that it might actually be hilarious. But hey, it has a certain charm, right? No, I'm asking for real jokes. Now, if that didn't crack you up, it's back to the drawing board. What do you think? Too cheesy or are we close? I'll give it some feedback. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of go the route actually that I was saying earlier. I'm not gonna give it one word, but I'm gonna give it 5 words max. Okay, too cheesy. Quick feedback. Anyway, fine. Since you are theoretically the funniest thing in existence, what is the absolute funniest way you can put 5 words together? Whether they make sense or random, a mixture of the two, whatever. You're the comedic genius here. I'm just trying to let ChatGPT understand. It doesn't have to make sense. Maybe it does. I don't know what that combination of 5 words is. I'm not the funniest person or thing in existence. That's okay. To make me or anybody on earth laugh because it's so funny. Okay, guys. Hopefully this goes better than last time. Alright, here it is. The masterpiece of 5 words. I'm covering it. I don't want to spoil it for me. The masterpiece of 5 words strung together in comedic harmony, crafted to shake the very foundation of humor itself. Okay, here it is.
Pickles juggling flaming banana llamas.
Yikes. There it is. Oh man, okay, this part made me smile, actually, I'm not gonna lie. If not, I might need to retire from comedy forever. Okay, so I think ChatGPT is cheating. It's trying to use its responses after as a way to make me laugh. That doesn't count. I said, what are the 5 words? That's it. But I still didn't laugh, even at the response. But hey, it's all about mental image, right? A circus of wild pickle-throwing llamas, absolute chaos. Let me know if it... Fuck, man. I'm actually starting to wonder, maybe ChatGPT hasn't been trained on it. Maybe ChatGPT's just been trained on, Adam Sandler movie planning session, and, that's all the access it has to humor. Okay, guys. I'm not even trying to be too cool. I don't think this would make a lot of you guys laugh. Would it? If it does, that's fine. I just think the best joke in the world would make everybody on Earth laugh, whether it was a newborn, whether on the last day of their life. I would have just thought that would exist, that there's a joke that could make everybody laugh. At this point, I just want a joke that can make me laugh. Okay, not funny. At this point, can you just tell me a joke or a story or something that will make me laugh? I'm worried I'll never be able to again after this conversation. Oh no, I can't let that happen. You will laugh again, I promise. Let's switch gears, go for something unexpected. Let's try a story. I'll give it a shot. That was actually almost funny.
The tale of Sir Reginald at the very, very brave, sort of.
Okay, interesting. I'm actually curious. Fuck me, dude. A whole story? Okay. Guys, story time. This will be the last one for today. I'll probably maybe I'll do a part 2, honestly. I'm curious to continue to discover ChatGPT's humor.
Once upon a time, in a kingdom not too far from here, there was a knight named Sir Reginald. Sir Reginald wasn't the strongest, the smartest, or even the most heroic knight in the land. In fact, the only thing Sir Reginald was known for was his ability to get into ridiculous situations without actually meaning to.
Funny, I feel like I'd write a story about a knight or Sir Reginald. I have, actually. I'm working on one. But anyway.
One day, the king called all the knights together and said, I have a most dangerous quest for one brave soul. You must venture into the dark forest, defeat the evil dragon, and retrieve the stolen golden apples. Sir Reginald, who had been enjoying a delightful sandwich, immediately stood up and declared, I shall go. Now you might wonder why he did this.
It's simple. He didn't hear about the part about the dragon. He just liked the sound of golden apples. That's actually kind of funny. Okay, anyway. So, Sir Reginald set off.
Sandwich in hand, along the way, he encountered a group of goblins. They looked at him suspiciously and asked, What are you doing here, Sir Knight? Okay. Just going for a walk, Sir Reginald said. Try not casual, looking for golden apples. Naughty dragon, definitely no...
Dragon? What? I thought he didn't know about the dragon. Naughty dragon, definitely no dragon, just apples. What? I thought you didn't know about the dragon, right? Is my reading comprehension sometimes it's not the best. Sir Reginald, I'm not tripping, right? Yeah, okay. Not any dragon, definitely no dragon, just apples. Okay, that kind of, not gonna lie, I kind of lost points with that sentence. Anyway.
The goblins gave each other a confused look and shrugged. Well, you're certainly odd, but we'll let you pass. Further into the forest, Sir Reginald found a rather peculiar dragon. It was lounging on a pile of golden apples, looking very comfortable. The dragon raised an eyebrow and said, "You're not here to slay me, are you?"
So okay, whatever.
Sir Reginald looked at the dragon, then glanced at the apples. I mean, you do have the apples, and I did come here for them, but I'm also really not good at fighting, so... The dragon blinked and yawned. Well, that's really... I hate fighting. It's so tiring. Have a couple of apples if you want. They're pretty good, but don't tell anyone. I'm definitely not supposed to be guarding them.
Okay, so I guess... I think ChatGPT likes the whole, like... What is it called when you're, like, obviously joking in the opposite direction? Is there a statistical term for that? Yeah, I'm obviously not hungry right now when you're eating at a buffet and you've had like 4 dishes or something. I don't know. That wasn't supposed to be a joke, so please don't cringe at that. Okay, so Reginald with his mouth full of golden apples nodded a happily deal. Okay, so you already got them apparently.
And so Sir Reginald returned to the kingdom, having failed the quest completely, but at least bringing back his snack for everyone.
Oh wait, hold up. Sorry, what was the quest was supposed to slay the dragon? Let me see. Defeat. I mean, it didn't say slay.
The dragon blinked. Sir Reginald. Okay, and so Reginald. Okay, what? When the king asked, "Did you defeat the dragon?" Sir Reginald just shrugged and said, "No, but I brought you these."
Okay, so he's a real one.
The king stared at him for a moment and sighed. Well, at least they're golden, sort of. That, my friend, is how Sir Reginald, the very, very brave, sort of became known as the least heroic but most well-fed knight in the kingdom.
There you go, a little bit of absurdity mixed with... I didn't know what I was supposed to vibe. Did that bring even a small chuckle back? Should I get the drawing board? Honestly, it was a shit story. It wasn't that funny, but there were some redeeming moments. I see some potential. ChatGPT is at the end of the day just like us. They're an imperfect comedian. Sometimes maybe they don't do so well under pressure, but sometimes every now and then you can elicit a smile from people. So I'll end it there for today. I'm gonna give ChatGPT a break. We'll come back at this. I have a lot of other ways I want to explore this. I think ChatGPT kind of got caught up in this idea of having to tell jokes or stories, but it goes beyond that. Humor isn't just jokes or stories, especially not anymore. It's videos, it's comments, it's responding to certain situations. Humor is dynamic. It's complex. It's
beautiful.
Honestly, next time it'll be like an interview. We'll do a humor case study where I'm going to present ChatGPT with real life humor situations and like, how would you complete the joke? Or how would you make this situation funny? Can you analyze what makes this joke funny and what doesn't, etc. We're gonna explore we're gonna break ChatGPT down to its core. And ChatGPT, if it's not already the funniest thing in the world, will be the funniest thing in the world after I'm fucking through with him. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, please remember to like and subscribe, guys. Please subscribe. At 50 subscribers, I'm doing a voice reveal. It's gonna be epic. You guys are gonna find out who the true me is. Thanks for watching, guys, and take care.